Now, since we are all set up to animate, let's start animating. I would like to start animating the phone itself here, but the screen is pretty congested, so I will need to solo this layer. To solo a layer, you come to the dot over here. This is the solo icon. And you go down to the layer and click on it. Now, all other layers are hidden except the layer that is soloed, or the layers that are soloed. So now I have soloed the phone and the background. To animate, you twirl down on the layer, you have transform, twirl down transform, and here you have the 5 properties that you can animate for a layer. You have the anchor point. Usually you don't animate the anchor point. This is the center of the graphic for now. And there is the position, so you can move the phone and animate it the way you would like. Notice how it works here. You can click and scrub, so you can animate the phone. And then you have the scale. Okay, you can scale it down and up. And you notice it's scaling down and up according to the anchor point. And I will undo. And you have the rotation. It also rotates on the anchor point. Okay, and you have the opacity that makes it, transparent or opaque. To start an animation, you simply click on position. And a keyframe is created for you. A keyframe means that at this time, in our case 0, 0, set the position at these coordinates. Now to create an animation, you move down the time, okay? And then you change, for example, the position just like this. Now you have a very simple animation in between 2 keyframes. So After Effects takes the first value and then the second value and interpret the animation in between. Here you are. Let's remove these keyframes by clicking again on the stopwatch, and then I will come down to somehow 15 frames here. I will click on position, meaning at this time set the layer at this position. Come back to the beginning, click and drag. So if you don't want it to go up and down, you press shift and you take it, for example, just over here. So now you have a very nice animation, which doesn't make much sense. But if you now play with the opacity, for example, I will keyframe it here and set the value at 0. Go to the next keyframe. Okay, it could be anywhere. And set the opacity at 100%. You will notice that you have a very cool animation. Here you are. Notice, guys, pretty nice. Now that you have animated our phone, let's animate, for example, the megaphone. I will solo it with the phone so I can see exactly what's happening. Now, in the megaphone here, I would like it to grow. It means it comes from down and goes up. Now, this is obviously the scale. I will keyframe the scale here at 100% and come back to the beginning and put it at 0%. If I play, not exactly the animation I want. To overcome this is very easy. Remember, the scale scales up according to the anchor point position. So if I want to move the anchor point, I will come to the anchor point tool here, click on it, the shortcut is Y, and click and drag. If you have your snapping off, okay, you can click and drag, press Ctrl or Command on the Mac, and it will snap. Now notice the animation has become quite different. Here you are. Now I could also add some transparency here, some opacity animation, but let's keep it for the end. We have these 2 layers animated. Let's look at the icons. The icons are behind. Let's open the transform, as simple as this. Let's keyframe them at 15 frames. Come back to the beginning and put it at 0%. I'm doing very simple animation. Now they're coming up very nicely. I can also use the rotation here. It will be cool. If I take it a negative rotation, so I will keyframe it here. So I put a -25, let's say so. Then come back here and put it back at 0. Notice how the keyframes are being created. So I have a small rotation while they're appearing. It's pretty cool, right, guys? Now, how about also using the opacity here if you like to? Put it at 0 after pressing the stopwatch, starting the animation. And here I'll make it 100%. Notice the animation. It's pretty beautiful. Very nice. Okay, we have to work on it a lot still. Let's look now at the background that is complete. Okay, let's come over here. Let's unsolo everything else so we see the background. This is the background. Well, zoom in will be quite nice in this case. So I will come to transform and simply keyframe the scale at 100%, go back to the beginning, put it at 0%, and here you are. Cool. Maybe we need it a bit faster. We went to 20 frames, let's go to 15 back, and click on the keyframe, and notice you can move it anywhere you want in the timeline. So I'll put it back at 15. Here you are. So let's unsolo everything, and we still have the stars. Let's look at our animation first. Not bad. It's coming up pretty nice, but still some work. Let's go back to 15 frames, open the stars. Now, instead of dwelling down, you can use some shortcuts like S will open the scale, P will open the position, T will open the opacity, and R will open the rotation, of course. Let's do the scale here as simple as this. Keyframe it at 15 frames at 100%, and come over here, make it 0%. Here is our animation. Pretty cool. But it has a slight problem. Notice how the animation is very, I would say, rigid. Everything is coming up first at the same time, then they come to a stop. Let's ease them, which means ease the animation. Bring them to a stop that is smooth. To do that, it's very easy. Let's select all the layers. I'm going to do them all at once. Press U. Let's go up a bit. And select all the keyframes, okay? And then right click on one of the keyframes and go to Keyframe Assistant and use Easy Ease. The shortcut is F9, okay? Now notice there's quite a difference in the animation. Okay, they're stopping pretty nice. To be a bit greedy, let's do like this, and I'm ready to show you, and I hope you follow along. I'm gonna select all the keyframes, go to the graph editor. Okay, now I'm gonna edit the speed. To know that you are in speed, make sure that you click on this icon here on the right of the eye and choose speed graph. Now I'm gonna select all the keyframes, just use the bars here to flatten a bit the speed and then bring it maybe over here. Don't worry, it might look now very like, wow, what is this? But don't worry about it, it's very easy to use. So what I have done here, I selected all the keyframes, not one of them, and just use this bar to take them left or right. So the speed now is gonna come quite speedy. You notice? It's gonna go up and down very easily. Let's go to the beginning, deselect and play. Nicer, much nicer. Cool. Let's exit the graph. And now I will twirl them all up. So you can select them all. You can use Ctrl A or Command A on the Mac and twirl them up. Now, actually, I don't want them to come all together at the same time. I want to, let's say the backgrounds, I want them to come a bit later. So the backgrounds are the icons. Using the selection tool, okay, make sure you're not using the pan behind. Click on the layer and move it behind in time. So now notice the icons are going to appear after. Let's put it over here so you can notice it very well. And now they appear after. Cool. So I want them, let's say, over here. Maybe the stars, we do the same. This is a background. And also this background can be delayed. And let's say the phone appear first and then the megaphone, but just a bit. Notice the animation now. Not bad at all. Okay, we can adjust it the way we would like. Here you are. This is the animation. It's very exciting to create it. Except the graph, it's a bit mysterious now. Cool. Let's do something else. This composition of mine is really very long. It is 5 seconds. I want to reduce it to 2 seconds. To do that, it's very easy. Come over, put your timeline indicator at 2 seconds, and press the key N. So here you have the work area end, and here you have the work area start. And to reduce the composition to this work area, all I have to do is to right click on the work area, then select trim comp to work area. Here you are. Now my composition is simply 2 seconds. And that's quite enough for this animation. So after that, we are going to create a GIF or a video. I will see you in the next lecture and try to create first a GIF. See you then.